while taking out the trash. Late at night, I passed by the open window and heard my wife whispering on the phone. In 3 weeks, that idiot loses everything. Mark and I just have to wait a few more weeks. Once the prenup loophole kicks in, I'm taking the house, the car, and half his business. Then, I'm erasing him from my life. I just smiled and back inside, kissed her goodnight. 3 days later, my WhatsApp was flooded with 44 desperate messages begging me. Okay, so straight up, I don't even know how to start this without sounding kind of paranoid, but whatever. Here goes. Not looking for sympathy. Just got to get this off my chest because if I don't, I'm going to explode. I guess if anyone's ever been blindsided by someone they trusted, maybe you'll get it. So, this all started like a week ago. Honestly, the days are blurring together now, but it was definitely late, like 1 a.m. I remember because I was scrolling on my phone half zoned out and realized trash pickup was in the morning. I always forget and she always rolls her eyes about it, so I got up to take it out before she could say anything. Stupid thing to care about, but it's one of those little house routines you don't think about until you're living with someone. I walk out to the bins. Nothing weird, just that gross humid smell at night. Neighbor's porch lights on, the usual. I'm half asleep, honestly. Then, as I'm dragging the bag back, I hear voices. Not loud, but not like whisper quiet either. Our kitchen window was cracked open, which is weird because she's always on me about bugs getting in it, but I hear her talking on the phone. Not a FaceTime, just a regular call. And she's got that tone she uses when she's gossiping with her friend Stella. I almost just keep walking, but something about it, maybe the way she kept saying, no, not yet. Just wait. I just kind of slowed down. So, I'm standing there out of sight, not even meaning to eavesdrop, and the words just hit me. She's talking about me. Yeah, me. She says something like, in 3 weeks, that idiot loses everything. And then something about Mark, like, Mark and I just have to wait a few more weeks. And then she says, once the prenup loophole kicks in, I'm taking the house, the car, and half his business. Then I'm erasing him from my life. I just stood there like, nah, this is a joke. Maybe she's talking about someone else. Maybe it's some show she's watching. I'm not even sure. But then she laughs. This weird, mean little laugh she never uses around me. Honestly, I've never even heard her sound like that. I guess I should have barged in or something, but instead I just backed away, put the empty trash bin down, and walked real slow back around the front. My hands were shaking a little, not 'cause I was scared, just like IDK adrenaline or something. I walked back in the house. She was off the phone standing at the fridge like nothing happened. She smiled at me and asked if I wanted a snack, same as always. I said, nah, just tired. And kissed her goodnight. For the record, we've been together 4 years, married for 2. We met in a way nobody ever believes. Not friends, not dating app, not anything normal. She literally messaged me on a forum about old headphones. Long story, not important now. Anyway, things were never perfect. Not going to act like we're some dream couple. She's always been ambitious. I'll give her that. But I always figured that was a good thing. She's intense, competitive, sometimes says stuff that makes people uncomfortable at parties, but nothing like evil. I don't know. Lately, she's been weird about money, asking about paperwork, making little digs about my spending, but I thought it was just stress. And Mark's this guy she went to high school. He's always around at group stuff. I never much liked him, but I never had a real reason to say anything. He's one of those dudes who acts like everyone's best friend, but you can never pin down what he actually does or want. I figured maybe I was just being jealous or whatever. Classic guy stuff. Apparently not. I spent that whole night just lying in bed staring at the ceiling. Her breathing right next to me, and all I could think was, is this real? Is this some prank? I started going over every conversation in my head, every weird look she's given me, every fight about money or chores, or who's supposed to pick up groceries. I thought about the prenup. We signed it because her parents pushed for it, not me. And I barely read it, TBH. I remember her mom saying, it's just to protect both of you. We're not saying anything bad will happen, well. The next day, I tried to act normal. She's making coffee, scrolling on her phone. I'm just watching her every move. She keeps texting, smiles at something, then looks at me and asks if I'm okay. I say, yeah, just tired. Work's been nuts. She shrugs and goes back to texting. I want to grab her phone and see who it is, but I don't. Not yet. I start noticing all these little things. She's got 2 bags packed in the closet. One of them's new tags still on. She's moving money around from her checking to savings, which she never used to do. She's suddenly obsessed with getting her own car insurance, which is weird because we always bundled it for the discount. She even asked me last week if I could show her how to log into my main account because something's wrong with the Wi-Fi or some BS. I said I'd fix it later and she got all huffy. Anyway, I'm not going to pretend I'm some saint here. We fight. Sometimes she gets mad and slams doors once. She threw a mug at the wall because I forgot our anniversary. Yeah, I know I'm that guy. But I never thought she'd actually do something like this. That night, I sat on the couch and just watched her. She was on her laptop, headphones on, typing like mad. I asked her who she was chatting with. She said, just Stella, planning a weekend thing. I nodded but kept watching. She noticed, got all defensive, said, why are you being so weird? I said nothing. Just went out to the backyard and scrolled through my phone for like an hour. When I came back in, she had gone upstairs and left her phone on the table, but locked. I tried to talk to my brother about it, like just to see if I was losing it, but he just laughed and said I was being paranoid, that I always overthink stuff. I told him about the bags, the phone calls, the prenup, and he just shrugged, said, you should talk to her, man. Maybe it's nothing. I wish it was nothing. So, yeah, I've been keeping it together on the outside. She keeps asking me to do little things for her, like fix the leaky faucet, pick up her dry cleaning, but I can't even look at her right now without picturing her on that call, plotting with Mark. She keeps hinting about wanting to go out for dinner to celebrate something. IDK what? She won't say. I keep saying I'm busy just to buy time. So why is she like this? If you asked her, she'd probably say I'm lazy. I don't plan for the future enough or that I don't push her to go after what she wants. She's always chasing the next thing. Always comparing us to her friends. Always talking about how we could have more. I figured that was just her being driven. But maybe I missed the signs. Maybe I just didn't want to see it. Here's the thing, though. I'm not just sitting here waiting to get stomped on. I'm not the kind of guy who's going to let someone take everything and walk away smiling. I already started moving things around. Not going to say what, but let's just say she's not the only one who can play games. I'm pissed. And I'm not going to sit around while she and Mark laugh behind my back. She slammed the door yesterday when I didn't answer her about going to her friend's party this week. I just watched her, didn't say a word. She came back downstairs later and acted like nothing happened. But I saw the look on her face when she saw I was still awake, just sitting there on the couch. I've got my own plans now. 3 weeks. Nah, she's not going to see it coming. We'll update soon, once loyal. Part of me wishes this was all in my head, but it's not. I can't wait to see how she reacts when she realizes I'm not as clueless as she thinks. Ask me anything, I'll answer. I'm not holding back any update one. So, update like I said I would. I appreciate everyone who commented or DM'd last time. Honestly, some of y'all were wilder than me, and that's saying something. Anyway, this week's been IDK. I want to say messy, but honestly, that doesn't even cover it. More like I'm living with a stranger who's still doing her wife routine, pretending nothing's up, except I keep catching her checking her phone every 5 minutes and getting all jumpy if I so much as look at her the wrong way. She's acting like I'm the paranoid, which is kind of hilarious at this point. So, the day after that phone thing, I got real quiet just watching. She noticed because she always notices stuff when it's about her. She kept acting normal, making all these let's do something together suggestions, which frustrated her because I'm not biting. She got her own accounts, but we still have a joint one because of bills and the house and all that. I started transferring anything extra out bit by bit so it wouldn't flag. Not enough to make it obvious, just enough to strip the cushion. Set up notifications for any new transfers. Started double-checking the stuff I actually own, like whose name is on what. Found out she's been asking her cousin, who is not subtle, NGL, about refinancing options, which come on, that's not normal. And I know some people are going to ask why not just confront her, because I wanted to see how far she'd go. I wanted to see if she'd slip up or if she'd get desperate. I started leaving my phone face up, acting like I was texting late at night. She kept glancing over trying to act cool, but I could tell she was dying to know what I was doing. I also changed all my passwords, everything. She noticed obviously and got real snippy about how she couldn't log into the streaming account. I told her I was updating security stuff because of some scam email. She rolled her eyes so hard I thought they'd fall out. Then she slammed her laptop shut and stormed out to the porch. I just sat there and scrolled TikTok, not even pretending to care. She started going out more, too. Like, suddenly she's got plans every night. Drinks with Stella, gym with Jessica, whatever. But then she comes home and showers right away, which she never used to do that late. She's also suddenly really into cleaning her car, which is hilarious since she used to treat it like a trash bin. Found a weird receipt in the glove box for a bar I know she hates. I didn't say anything. Just snapped a pic and put it back. Then there's Mark. Yeah, he started showing up more, but not at our place. She's careful. Like, she waits till I'm busy or out. But I saw his car in the lot when I went to pick up groceries, and he looked at me like he'd seen a ghost. I just smiled and waved. Later, she got all weird about why I was taking so long that I needed to up the pressure, so I started quietly moving valuables out of the house. Nothing super obvious, just little things. My old tech, some collectibles, stuff she never cared about, but I'd be pissed to lose. Put them in my brother's basement. Told him it was a declutter thing. He gave me that look like, "You're being weird," but didn't push. Then I started acting just a little suspicious, like leaving my keys by the door, asking random questions about her schedule, making offhand comments about how I should check in on the house insurance or review the prenup. Every single time, she'd go stiff for a second, then brush it off. But the next day, she'd be extra sweet, like she was trying to make up for something. About 3 days in, I started getting bolder. I went through the prenup again, line by line. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm not an idiot either. I found the bit she was talking about, some clause about commingled assets after a certain period, but it was worded in a way that could go either way, depending on who's got the upper hand. Basically, if I could prove she was trying to move stuff around or planning to split and take half, I could block it. I made copies of everything. Took photos of her packed bags, her receipts, even the text messages that popped up on her phone when she left it unlocked by mistake. She's not as slick as she thinks. Kept all of it in a folder on a cloud backup she doesn't know about. The tension was getting wild at this point. She started snapping for no reason. Like, I left dishes in the sink and she went off full meltdown, yelling about how she's always cleaning up after me and I don't appreciate her. I just told her if she didn't like it, she didn't have to stay. She slapped my arm and stormed out. Slammed the door so hard a picture fell off the wall. I fixed it and put it back. No comment. She tried to rope in her mom, too. Got a call on speaker while I was home. And her mom was going on about how you shouldn't have to tolerate this. You deserve someone who sees your value. I just laughed and walked out to the yard. Later, her mom texted me about being there for her if she's struggling, like I'm some bad guy. I replied, "Thanks. I'm fine. Appreciate the concern." She left me on read. Mark started texting me too, super random, like, "Hey man, are you free to talk?" I ignored it. I knew what he wanted. He's not subtle. Next day, I saw him at the gym and he tried to play it casual, asking if I was stressed, if things at home were okay. I just told him things are good, never better. He looked confused and left early. I know why she's doing all this. It's not just about money. She hates not being in control. She hates when things don't go her way or when someone calls her bluff. Growing up, she was the golden child. Her family gave her everything. She never had to fight for stuff. If she didn't get what she wanted, she'd flip out, blame everyone else, or play the victim until someone caved. I thought she'd grown out of it. But nah, that stuff runs deep. So, I kept pushing, started dropping hints in front of her, asking if she wanted to update the will or if she needed help with her move. She'd go pale, then act like she didn't hear me. One night, she got in my face screaming about how I was trying to make her look crazy, how I was ruining everything. I just told her, if you don't like it, you know where the door is. She shoved me hard, then went upstairs and locked herself in the bathroom for an hour. The next morning, she was all smiles, made coffee, put on music, dancing around like nothing happened. I played along, but I could see the cracks. She kept checking her phone, texting non-stop, probably Mark or Stella. I just ignored it. Started calling a couple of old friends asking about options for moving out just in case. Nobody really believed me when I told them what was going on. They all say, she seems so nice. Maybe you're overthinking it. Yeah, maybe. I started warning mutuals, too. Like, hey, just so you know, things are rough right now. Not sure what's going to happen, but don't get dragged into it. Most people just said, hope you work it out. One guy said, whatever happens, don't let her take you for a ride. Appreciate that. She started getting desperate. I caught her checking my drawers, going through my mail, asking all these weird questions about where I keep stuff. I played dumb, let her think I was clueless. Then I switched up all my hiding spots and took anything important out of the house. The last straw was last night. She tried to surprise me with dinner. Said we needed to talk. I sat down and she started fake crying, saying she felt like I didn't love her anymore, that I wasn't invested in us. I just stared at her and said, you sure about that? She went silent, wiped her face, then stood up and slapped me, not even angry, just like she wanted to see if I'd react. I didn't. She stormed out, slammed the door, and drove off. Didn't come back till like 2 a.m. So now I'm here watching her unravel. And once loyal, it feels good to have the upper hand for once. She thinks she's got everything lined up, but she has no idea what's coming. I'm not scared, not waiting around. I'm taking back every inch she tried to steal. Next update will be soon. Update 2. Alright, here's the fallout and IDK if I've ever felt more alive, honestly. Like, I almost forgot what it was like to not be the one getting played. Now, I see her flinch every time my phone buzzes, and I almost want to laugh. So, let's start with this. The mood in the house is straight up tense, and even the dog won't hang around when we're both in the kitchen. She's got this habit now where she slams the bathroom door every morning. Like, somehow that'll make her day go better. Me, I just make my coffee, scroll, act like nothing's up, but inside I'm just waiting, watching her try not to lose it. She's getting sloppy. One morning, she left her phone on the table and I saw a message pop up from Mark. Nothing wild, just his name. It's the way she lunged for the phone, though, like I was about to grab it. Nah, I'm not giving her that satisfaction. I just asked if she wanted any coffee. Deadpan. She stared at me for a sec, then said she was late and left. So, I did what anyone would do. I started turning up the heat. I stopped paying anything from the joint account. Moved everything I could into my own. The mortgage, utilities, all of it. I switched to my personal, made sure she'd get notifications about late payments. She started asking me about random charges like, did you forget to pay for the internet? I shrugged, said, I thought you were handling that. She got pissed and slammed the fridge door. She's acting like I'm the crazy one, but I know she's scrambling behind my back. Then I went through the prenup again just to make sure. I sent a copy to a friend who's good with contracts, not a lawyer, just someone who's been through a divorce, and asked how bad it would be if she tried to pull the trigger now. He read it, called me, and said, honestly, if you can show she's planning something and moving money, she's the one in trouble. So, I started a paper trail, kept receipts, took photos, logged every weird transfer she did. I even took screenshots of her texts when she left her phone open by accident. She's getting real sloppy, once loyal. She tried to guilt me into going out with her and her friends, but I just said I had stuff to do. Next thing I know, she's out all night. Comes home smelling like a different cologne. I don't even react. The next morning, she's all smiles, but I can see her hands are shaking. She kept asking if I slept okay. Did I see her texts? Did I miss her? I just said I was busy. Maybe next time. It's starting to hit her now that I'm not playing along. She called her mom again on speaker because she wanted me to hear and started fake crying about how I'm being cold and shutting her out. Her mom's voice is all soothing like, "You just need to talk." He's always been stubborn. I almost laughed out loud. Later that night, she cornered me in the hallway, started raising her voice, said I was making her look crazy in front of her family. I told her, "You're doing a pretty good job of that on your own." She slapped my shoulder and stomped off. Called Mark right after. Didn't even try to hide it. Mark, meanwhile, is acting nervous. Saw him at a gas station when I was filling up. He looked over, then just got in his car and left. Later, he texted me again, real vague. "Hey, can we talk man to man?" I left him on read. Not my problem. Pretty sure he's realizing this isn't going to go the way they planned. The best part, I started talking to her cousin, the one she asked about refinancing. Just casual like, "Hey, has she mentioned anything about the house?" Cousin looked uncomfortable. Said she's been weird lately. Asking about taking over the mortgage alone. I just nodded. Said, "Yeah, things are weird right now." Didn't give anything away. Cousin ended up telling her parents and now her family's asking questions. So, now she's getting it from all sides. Her parents texted me asking if everything is okay. Her aunt called and wanted to know if there's anything they should be worried about. I kept it vague, just said, "We're figuring stuff out. Thanks for checking in." I can tell the gossip's starting to spread in her family group chat. She left her laptop open and I saw her notifications blowing up. She tried to flip it, started accusing me of cheating, said she saw suspicious messages on my phone. I told her if she wants to check my phone, go ahead. She grabbed it, scrolled for 5 minutes, found nothing, and threw it back on the couch. Then she started yelling, said I was hiding something. I just laughed and told her maybe she should check her own phone. She pushed me hard and then started crying. I walked out, left her sitting there. At this point, more of our friends are getting dragged in. One of her old friends DM'd me on Insta asking if everything was okay. Said she seemed off lately. I just said she's got a lot going on. Didn't say more. People are starting to notice she's not herself. Super jumpy, snapping at people, showing up late for stuff. She unfollowed a couple mutuals after they liked one of my posts, which is just, wow. I'm not just sitting back. Every time she tries to get control, I push harder. She tried to get me to sign some updated paperwork for the house, said it was just to streamline bills. I read it, saw there was a clause about transferring equity. I told her I'd sign it after I ran it by someone. She lost it, started screaming about how I never trust her, slapped the kitchen counter, and stormed upstairs. Mark's blowing up my phone at this point. Calls, texts, even tried to DM me on Facebook. I ignored everyone. I think he's feeling the heat. Probably didn't think I'd fight back. I heard from a friend that Mark's been complaining to people that I'm being unreasonable and won't let things go. Yeah, whatever. She tried one last move that almost made me laugh. She packed a bag and said she was going to her mom's for the week. I said, "That's fine. Let me know if you need anything." She paused, looked at me like she couldn't believe I wasn't begging her to stay. Just left. Slammed the door again because that's her thing now. So that's where we're at. She's losing her grip. Mark's panicking. Her family's catching on. I'm not backing down. I'm not forgiving. Not forgetting. And sure as hell not letting her or Mark walk off with what's mine. She thought she could erase me. I'm making sure she's the one who gets wiped out. Part 4 coming soon. It's about to get even messier. Final update. So, here we go. Last update. Unless something completely wild happens. But I'm honestly over giving this any more of my life than it deserves. I kept saying it would get messy and NGL. The mess was even more real than I thought. If you read the other parts, you know I wasn't just going to walk away or give her an easy out. Nah, I needed her to feel it, and she did. The weirdest thing is the final act started on a regular Thursday. She came back from her mom's, not even pretending to be chill, just straight up cold shouldering me. She's got this new phone case. Suddenly, all her notifications are turned off. And she barely looks at me, but she's moving around the house like she owns the place, putting her stuff everywhere. Didn't say a word about where she was. Just dumped her bag in the living room and started making a bunch of calls. All fake laughing and acting like I didn't exist. Whatever. I just turned on the TV and ignored her. Then I get this text from her cousin, the one who knows about the house stuff, asking if I'm okay and if I need anything. I just said I'm good. But later that night, her cousin texts again. Something like, "Hey, I think she's been telling people you're moving out soon. Is that true?" Oh. So that's her play, huh? She's already trying to sell the story before she's even done the job. Classic. The next few days are a blur of her slamming doors, making a show of moving stuff out of the bedroom, calling her friends on speaker so I can hear her talk about how toxic I am and how she needs space. Real original. I just kept my head down, kept moving what I needed to my brothers, and every night checked that all my accounts were tight. I took the car keys with me whenever I left, too, just in case. Friday morning, she tried to get in my face about some bill that didn't get paid, which, yeah, I stopped paying it, saying if I cared about this house at all, I wouldn't let things fall apart. I told her if she wants it so bad, maybe she should start paying for it. She shoved me and tried to snatch the mail out of my hand. I pulled it back and walked out. She was yelling after me, but I just put in my earphones and left. Then it all came down. I guess Mark finally realized the ship was sinking because he started texting me, then her, then me again. She was on her phone non-stop pacing the kitchen, snapping at everyone. She made a big scene on the phone with her mom crying and saying she didn't know what went wrong. Her mom showed up that afternoon and they went at it in the kitchen. Voices raised. I heard her mom say stuff like, "You can't just take things that don't belong to you." And her yelling back, "You never take my side. You always think he's right." While they were busy, I pulled the last documents out of the safe. She had no idea where the key was. I changed the combo weeks ago and dropped them at my brother's place. Texted a couple mutuals and just said, "Hey, heads up. Things are probably going to blow up soon. Just keep your distance." Got the usual, "Hope you're okay, bro" responses. But a couple people said they'd noticed she was acting off and were honestly not shocked. Then came the WhatsApp storm. I swear, I've never seen so many notifications in my life. 44 unread messages, all from her, starting with "We need to talk" and then going straight to "Why are you doing this and you're ruining everything." She called me 9 times in a row. I silenced my phone and just watched the numbers go up. She switched to email after that, then started calling my brother, then my mom. My mom called and asked if everything was all right. I just said, "Yeah, it's handled. Don't get involved." She came home that night and tried the sweet routine, all soft-voiced, asking if we could just talk like adults. I sat down and said, "Fine, talk." She started with the waterworks. Said she was scared, that she just wanted what she deserved, that I was shutting her out. I asked her, "What do you think you deserve exactly?" She went silent, then tried to flip it. Said she knew about the stuff I'd moved, accused me of stealing from her. I told her I was just making sure she didn't take what wasn't hers. She tried to slap me. I blocked her arm and told her we were done. The next day, she tried the legal threats. She said she'd get lawyers, that she'd take me for everything. I just laughed and told her to read the prenup again and let her know I had copies of everything she tried to pull. She got real quiet after that. Her mom called again and told me she was disappointed in both of us. I said, "That's fair." Mark finally texted one more time. Something pathetic about how he never wanted it to end like this. I blocked his number. He stopped showing up at the gym, too, which is funny because he used to be there every morning. Guess he didn't want to risk running into me. Now she's moved out living with her mom. Half her friends stopped talking to her after she tried to drag them into it. Her cousin told me she's been crying every night and doesn't understand how things went so wrong. I didn't answer. I don't care. She can keep her stories. I've got the receipts. The fallout's real. She lost a bunch of support. People are picking sides and it's not going her way. Her mom emailed me asking if I'd consider talking to her just for closure. I said no. There's nothing left to say. I'm not forgiving, not forgetting, and I sure as hell am not going to let someone erase me from my own life. I made sure she left with nothing extra, nothing she didn't come in with. So yeah, that's the end. No healing, no pretty bow on it. Just me, my stuff, and a house that's finally quiet. I'm not happy, not sad, just done. If she wanted war, she got it.